All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Anchorman here talking about the Multiverse podcast, episode 24, with our cast today. Fame is out today. He had to work. We have our other guys in here today. We have our returning guest, James from TICGN.
Yo, what's up? Come and follow me on Twitter, James_Swilson.
All right. And we also have our guest for the evening, Chris.
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me. This is the christening for me. I've never been on the multiverse.
Oh, boy.
Did no one tell you the rule about puns?
I'm all about having fun, man.
Go for it.
All right. So we got a couple things we want to talk about today. I was just briefly talking about these guys earlier, just a few things that were going on. But first off, before we do anything, I want to give a moment of silence for Gene Wilder, who passed away just a few hours ago. He was a big inspiration to me personally, and to millions around the world. A great actor, great comedian, and lending his talents to many great projects like Young Frankenstein, his most iconic work, Willy Wonka. Yeah.
Had to do it.
Yeah, and just so many great things. So let's just give like a brief moment of silence here. All right. Anyway, guys, since we're talking about Gene Wilder, what were some of the things you guys really enjoyed from his work? Did you watch the original Willy Wonka? I assume everyone did.
Well,
Yeah.
it still scars me. The boat scene. It's brilliant.
It's still nightmare fuel to this day.
I think that's why that film is remembered so well. That scene alone.
Yeah.
The
That was a weird. We were talking about the boat scene, and so
Yeah.
I mean, it is such a strange thing, and it balanced a level of zaniness with fear at the same time, which is something interesting. Not a lot of movies really go for that. They only go for one general tone all the way through, but that one scene is so strange and out of place with the rest of the movie. I think it sticks in people's minds.
Well, I think it's the same with a lot of kids' movies of that ilk. They all seem to have quite a dark undertone, and that's sort of why it makes them so good.
Mm-hmm.
they try to recognize that there is like a darker side to the world, but then kind of remind you why what you're watching is so enjoyable, because they remind you of what happens in the world that's dark, right? And then they remind you why you're in the theater, why you are on your couch watching this film, because for a brief moment they acknowledge that, and then they move into this like whimsical feel, trying to just take you out of reality for a little bit and have you enjoy I guess whether you're an adult or a child or teenager, whatever, what have you, to try to forget all that and just enjoy yourself through the journey that they try to set up there for you. And I think they accomplished that very well, because I've only probably watched that film in the entirety of my life. I'm gonna say for sure twice, maybe 3 times, but it sticks with me so well. And his performance was very, very unforgettable. And unlike many people who have seen his films, I've only seen the one with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and even still, his performance has stuck with me throughout the entirety of my life. I will never forget his performance, and the way that he made me feel. Confused, happy, silly with his humor. He portrayed that character very well, and he lived in the moment. He lived sort of a sugary madman very well, and that performance will stick with me forever. So it's kind of sad seeing a chunk of my childhood memories, at least, from someone who made me believe in wonders, pass away. But we all do, and it's a blessing of a lifestyle that he lived. So I hope he rests in peace, and I hope his family finds peace in the joy that he brought everybody.
Yeah, I mean that's from somebody who's only seen one of his films. For me, growing up watching Blazing Saddles
Yep.
and The Producers and Young Frankenstein and See No Evil, Hear No Evil with George Pryor. George Pryor? Am I tired? Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor. Sorry. You know, this guy is, you know, we use the term legend a lot, and some people don't deserve it.
Let's not use the term legend. He's not. I wouldn't go as far to call him a legend. Let's call him. I don't know. Just something else. He was an icon. There's icon. Icon sounds fair. Especially of the 70s, 80s acting, and of comedy. I love the guy. I see you sneak in here, Nick.
Oh yeah, I snuck in.
I saw you sneak in here.
Sneaky. I'm very, very sneaky.
Yep. So we were just talking about Gene Wilder, who passed away today.
Oh man, my wife actually woke me up early from work today and was like, Gene Wilder died. I was just like, wow, and I just kind of sat in bed for like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Like that was like when my dad like first allowed me to watch like, I'm gonna say more inappropriate movies. It was movies like Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, The Producers, and like that was my introduction to like adult comedy. So like he was a huge part of growing up for me, even though I was raised in the like late '90s. He was a huge part of like my movie culture growing up, and I always based my humor around those movies. And I don't know, he was a great actor. I definitely wouldn't say he's a legend, but his early comedic work is just fantastic. He was a very funny man, and his personality came through in a way that you just can't describe, really. His personality was one of a kind.
It's really sad he didn't do much work in the 90s, really.
Yeah.
Because he sort of did...
kind of retired.
Yeah.
Really much.
Annoyingly, because I look at his Wikipedia page, the last really notable thing he did was a guest spot in Will and Grace.
Oh wow!
There's some actors out there that really pick and choose what they want, not out of the sake of just being picky. It's that to them it's an art, and they really try to preserve what they can do, and they don't want to kind of saturate the market with themselves, and kind of devalue the capability that they have. So I find him to fall along the lines of that. And it's very respectable, because there's some actors that generally do that, and I applaud them for that, for not being out there for the money and strictly being out there for the art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's definitely an important thing. I mean, like another person that comes to mind is like Rick Moranis, who just retired. He just completely retired, and like that's totally fine. That's totally something that's up to him. That choice.
He did say that he's not 100% retired. He said if the right thing came along, he'd come back. And maybe now Wilder's gone, it'll spur Moranis on to do something with Mel Brooks.
Didn't Moranis retire because didn't his wife pass away and he ended up dedicating most of his time?
Yes. That is one of the major reasons, yes.
Oh, that I can 100% respect that. That's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so moving on to other topics of import, I was talking to James about it before we started the show today. I had this song stuck in my head from the Devil's Carnival musical. Because last night I got stuck on this kick of just looking at not bad, but not necessarily good horror stuff. Like things like I watched It again, and like the Stephen King It, and I was spurred by I saw the new picture of the new It, and
actually that's actually really funny you bring up It, because that's actually was being filmed where I live actually.
Oh,
they were
wow.
filming. They actually remodeled our whole downtown to film it for 2 weeks actually, and redid a bunch of the shops and everything else. It was kind of really a neat experience for a while.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
Well, yeah, especially since like everyone in my house is absolutely terrified of clowns.
Oh,
So,
God.
That was part of the thing about watching it in particular. I was not scared at all because I'm not afraid of clowns in the slightest. I don't care. Like, so I'm watching it like with a straight face, like, is this scary?
The idea of clowns doesn't scare me. It's the idea of somebody in a mask or such a covered face you can't really tell what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, wasn't the original It with Tim Curry though?
It was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I never can take Tim Curry seriously. I always laugh in any role he's in, way too much.
Yeah.
Well, you laugh in Fern Gully.
Yeah, even that. I mean, he enjoys his roles too much. But anyway, yeah. So I watched it, and I kind of got into this weird thing. Like I skimmed through Tusk.
I loved Tusk.
Tusk, for people who don't know what I'm talking about. What's his name?
Smith.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Smith, the guy who did Clerks and Silent
Bob.
All that kind of stuff. He's an indie producer kind of deal for movies. He made
director.
a movie.
He's not a producer.
It's the dumbest concept ever, and it follows in the same vein of like Human Centipede, but it's a American podcaster goes up to Canada or something like that, and meets this guy who was an orphan. And back in the early 1900s, they had these things. I don't remember if it's like quintessential. So there's something like that, a quintessential orphan, where to save money, they put all these orphans. This actually did happen. They put orphans in mental institutions and classified to save on orphanages. They had tax loopholes and stuff like that, and they reclassified it, and so they would treat them like mental patients. And so just orphans were mental patients now. And so they're just mentally scarred, and so this one guy, for whatever reason, he was out on like an expedition and gets stranded and saved by a walrus, and eventually has to kill and eat the walrus. But he's like mentally scarred because the walrus was his friend, and so it's what? We're not even into the weird part yet. Like he names it like Mr. Tusk, and he had to kill to survive. And so he lured people into his house, and he has like a big mansion type of house. He lures them into his house, drugs them, amputates their legs, and attaches the femur bones to their mouth, and puts them in a walrus suit made out of like human hide.
What the?
He mentally breaks them down to become a walrus.
This is the same dude who made fucking Mallrats. And Zack and Miri make a porno. It's so weird. I love it.
I like the concept. I've always liked the concept of that film though, because it's more realistic to, so like you mentioned, Human Centipede. It's more realistic than that, and on top of that, as corny as it sounds, a podcaster traveling isn't so far fetched, because I mean, I podcast and I do too, and I'm one of those guys that are like, you can show up with a van with no windows and be like, hey man, I got some free beer in here. I'll be like, hell yeah, big day for vans. But I like the idea of that film big time. It's just so odd. It was so it's odd. The at least the cast, and the fact that a studio out there was like, you know what, let's do this.
Oh, not even that. It's not even like there's no name actors. There's real actors in this movie.
Yeah.
Michael Parks is the crazy guy. They got Haley Joel Osment as an adult to be in the movie. Johnny Depp is the inspector. And they got Justin Long to play the main guy.
They got Johnny Depp's daughter.
I bet you like tickled them, like their intellect, because they were like, this is some messed up stuff. Like, I gotta be part of this, especially Johnny.
I just gotta be part of
this. Johnny Depp's like, give me some weird eyebrows and I'm in.
It's funny. It's such a weird movie, and it's supposed to be that way. It's such an odd deal. And like you think like, okay, guy kidnaps you, you couldn't possibly break down like this to become an actual walrus. And by the end of the movie, he thinks he's a walrus. Like it's so
wow.
It's so weird.
You want to say like what production company would do this? The production company was A24. A24 are the best production company right now because they will make anything. They don't give a damn about what they make. They can make this and then they'll go and make Ex Machina.
Yeah.
They funded that. They also made
to me.
Oh god damn it. What?
No, I just said that was good to me.
Yeah, Ex Machina was fantastic. Bunch of amazing films. Obvious Child, the rom-com, Lock, the film where Tom Hardy's just in a car for an hour of 90 minutes, Enemy, I'm really tired.
Yeah.
But they have arguably one of the best films of the year coming out very soon called Swiss Army Man, which is Daniel Radcliffe.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so Paul Dano is on an island and about to kill himself, and he sees a body wash up on the shore. He goes over. It's Daniel Radcliffe, not as Daniel Radcliffe. And he thinks he's dead, and then Daniel Radcliffe's character farts. So he's not dead, and then he realizes that he can, if he like bends his arm back, it comes back with such force it can like break a tree. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Random.
It's so random, but it's amazing. I don't urge you enough to see it.
I don't want to like my apologies if you feel like I'm like deterring or like detracting from the show. I just wanted to like say that that kind of reminds me of the whole like Tusk thing that I seen a long time ago. I want to say in like 2009, 2010. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, so my apologies if I butcher it. And I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I believe it was called like the Martyrer.
The what?
The Martyrer. Have you guys ever seen that?
I don't think so.
Martyr?
Yeah, it's I believe it's spelled like Matryr or something like that.
Just martyr.
Yeah,
Martyr.
I can't. I'm Hispanic, so I have a hard time pronouncing
just
some words.
pronounce martyr. It's one of those weird words.
I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it was like along the lines of like someone like a intellectual family, like husband and wife couple that like kidnap people and just put them in their like own home, like private cellar type of thing, and they would skin people alive and hang them, and keep them alive, feed them and try to keep them hydrated, and they would just try to torture them to see where their breaking point was. If you guys haven't checked, if you guys like films like the Tusk, just like the concept, not necessarily like the performances or anything like that, you guys should check that out. It was it was one of those films that stuck with me because it was kind of like Ex Machina, where Ex Machina at the end of it, the whole theater was quiet because everybody was like, "What the hell did I just watch?" And that's how I thought. No, I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not that guy. And that's how like the Martyr made me feel, because it was like halfway into the film I had to like pause it and read the back again because I had to read the back. This is back when DVDs were prominent. But yeah, you guys should.
Wait, is it Martyrs?
Yeah, it should be the one I came up with that fits that description. Is the 2008 French-Canadian film.
I know. I've seen
All
this
these Canadian movies, man. What's going on?
Don't go to Canada. And you think you going to Canada because of Trump is going to be a great idea? Don't go. Like, Trump's not going to skin you. Maybe.
It's just
depends what color your skin is.
I'll take my chance.
I can speak for most of Canada. I cannot, however, speak for the French-Canadian part of Canada.
Yeah, that's it. Martyrs. I just looked it up. It's the one with the creepy images and disturbing stuff. That's them. That's it.
All right. So moving on to another topic, but also still in the same vein as movies. So we had some interesting footage come out earlier this morning, and it was actually really funny because I was trying to think of what we could talk about today. And I was like, oh, I can't think of anything. And all of a sudden, Ben Affleck has to be a real true hero, the MVP right now, showed off about, 20 seconds of Deathstroke, confirming he's going to be in Justice League. And my mind just totally exploded, because I was just like, this is what we need right now. This is the big thing that the DC Universe has had a problem with, is an actually smart, capable villain.
I know you said it was confirmed, but has it been? I'm not sure
Jeff
yet.
Johns retweeted it, and if you look at the background of the footage, you see the Batmobile.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, I want to know if it's from the Batman, the standalone film that he has coming up.
They haven't started filming that at all.
No? Oh, okay.
They're working on Justice League.
All right, so yeah, it would have to be the Justice League. I was just curious because I know that he has that standalone film coming. I know there isn't word on who the actor is, but aren't they just trying him out right now at the moment, like in film, and they don't have a set actor for him yet?
I don't think we know who the actor is yet. They haven't said anything about it. They literally just showed the footage. So all we know is that Deathstroke is in the movie. We don't know who it is, though.
I was going to say, a bunch of fan theories is some guy named Joe Manganiello. That's what I found on YouTube. Yeah, that's a bunch of YouTubers.
Something like that.
Manganiello, I can't pronounce it, but that's the YouTube rumors right now.
You know what? I don't want to know who it is. I want to wait until the film, and then he takes off the mask, and I want to go, oh my god, it's Bryan Cranston or whoever it is.
It's John DiMaggio.
It's Christian Bale.
It's Superman. Wait, what?
But I was looking at like some of the fan theories and fan favorites, and I saw like a popular suggestion that I actually agreed with. Shut up! That was funny. At first, I was like, who would want that? But then after like sitting on the idea of like 5 to 10 minutes, I kind of agreed that I would like to see Arnold Schwarzenegger play him. I would like the idea of like him playing someone like somewhat of a darker character again. Like I
don't want him near a Batman property again.
With the right talent, I think he could do it.
No.
I mean, look at Ben Affleck. The guy was Daredevil. If you could come back from that, if you could come back from Gigli.
This is the thing back.
Actually, you know what? You make a valid point about that.
I didn't understand why everybody was so caught up in that. Why everyone was so pissed off. It's like, really, you're gonna judge him by an early 2000s movie? The guy's grown up since then. Like, move on. Like, you can't.
He can't grow down from there. I mean, he has to grow up. It's not by choice.
Yeah, you can't get worse than Gigli.
You can't. What you call it? Brad Pitt and Benjamin Button. You gotta grow. The guy did Gigli. So, I mean, I wasn't upset. I was just like, I was sad. I like how to like take the day off of work and roll over in bed and eat marshmallows. But the guy did well, and I think. I don't know. There's some actors out there that could grow, and I would like to see like Schwarzenegger. That'd be cool. Like just giving him a dark. I like the whole darker tones of the DC universe, and some actors kind of thrive off of that. It's not like I'm trying to say we need to see a Kindergarten Cop 2.
I'm saying that. I want Kindergarten Cop 2. I was just saying, you know what the worst thing about Gigli is? It's not Ben Affleck, it's not Jennifer Lopez, it's the fact that Al Pacino and Christopher Walken are in that movie. There aren't that many films where they're together, but that's one of them, and it's dog shit. So what are we talking about? Kindergarten Cop 2? Let's pitch Kindergarten Cop 2 right now.
I want Chris Nolan directing it.
But I mean, hey, here's the thing. All right, so we're gonna talk about Deathstroke for a little bit. It's just we did a segment last time. We're gonna do fan casting again. So we're gonna talk about who we think should be the new Deathstroke. So just briefly take a little minute to think about who your fan castings are. Let us know in the chat right now if you're on YouTube. who you think would be a good Deathstroke. I already have my choice. The problem is he's kind of up for contention for a bunch of different stuff recently, and I'll let you guys have some time to think for yourselves. But I'm thinking like Stephen Lang, or at least the guy who just did the new Don't Breathe movie. The guy who was in the running to be, I'm pretty sure it's Stephen Lang. Let me double check I got the name right. Yep, Stephen Lang.
I love the trailer for Don't Breathe.
Yeah, it's the guy who did Don't Breathe. For those of you who don't know who the hell we're talking about here, it's the guy who played the bad guy in Avatar. The good Avatar. The one.
They're both bad.
I mean, I think he would be dope in that role. I would love to see Stephen Lang take on, because he could do that the grizzled impression. You don't even have to see his face that much, and his eyes can give that intensity just from a little slot in a mask. I think it would be awesome. I would love to see him like that. The only problem is he's up for contention to be Cable in the Deadpool sequel.
I would love to see someone like Bryan Cranston play it, since he fits the age group and he can portray.
I said that as a joke before. I was kidding.
Really?
He would fit the age profile. I'm not sure if he could physically do it though.
And that's the only reservation I had as I was thinking about all this, because he would really have to get on a serious regimen. He would have to get the right trainer for the physical stuff, but the guy can make me feel. I know this sounds sexual and corny. I'm not trying to be silly. I'm being serious. But the guy can make me feel ways just by looking at you a certain way, and without without having to actually say anything. And very rare, rarely is that something that an actor can do for me. And I think he would just, I don't know, he would fit the bill for me. It would just be the physical stuff that I'd be a little concerned with.
I've got it. I know who I want.
Who?
Edward Norton.
Why?
He's a okay. First of all, 3-time Oscar nominee. There we go. That's one. He's got the chops.
Oh,
Secondly,
sure.
He's known to be a bit of a dick. Anyway, and he's in his early mid-40s.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'm crazy. I want Ed Norton in everything.
What, does grizzled veteran kind of strike the vibe with you if there were Norton?
With makeup.
Lots of makeup and steroids.
Makeup, steroids.
But the thing is, Norton's a method actor, so he'll properly go in hard.
I don't know. I'm trying to really think about it, but it's like seeing Lil Jon play the role. I don't see it.
Yeah, but can you legitimately tell me that Bryan Cranston would do it?
I don't. I'd say it's like a 30% chance that he would do it if they approached him. They would have to pitch it to him very well, and I believe it's like one of those Heath Ledger instances where someone is kind of turned off instantly by the pitch that they give you, but having to sit down with the person and kind of give them an idea what it kind of like saying no, it's not what you think. We're not looking for that.
This will define your career.
We're trying to
and you'll die.
I'm not gonna be that guy.
I just had another thought, thinking of actors who have had their face covered and they didn't mind. Carl Urban.
He hasn't done much in the superhero field for a while.
Well, he's done Dredd, and that's it.
Was he in Dredd?
He was Dredd.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, Carl Urban, you doing a good job right there. We don't even know you exist.
He was Dredd, and he's Bones in Star Trek. He's the only good thing in Star Trek.
That's all I know about him right now. I thought he was just collecting that Star Trek check.
I'm just honestly surprised we're talking like fan picks, and this is the first superhero role where I've gone on my Twitter and someone's now trying to pitch Idris Elba to be Deathstroke.
I would love that. I love him.
Yes, let's have Idris Elba do it now.
I want to watch a play called where it's called White People Finally Getting a Break, and then the lead actor is Idris Elba. Like he would be put on a performance of a lifetime. That guy, I love him. He's like the new Samuel Jackson without the screaming.
Have you not seen Luther?
I've not seen Luther's. I don't know.
He does a lot of screaming.
Yeah, but how many?
But it's with an East London
say?
accent, so it's me, it's Luther. That's what it is. It's
How
just
many
that
MFs
for 40
does he
minutes
say?
every week. How many swear words?
How many MFs has he said?
Oh, a ton.
Is it Sam Jackson levels of MFs or no?
No, MFs. No,
MFs.
no one can MF
Look,
like Sam Jackson.
I'm gonna give you an example of Idris Elba's MFs compared to Sam Jackson MFs. Idris Elba.
As an English person, it's Idris.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Idris Elba's his MFs is like a little firecracker, the little ones that you light up, and then Samuel Jackson's MFs is like Hiroshima, like that guy. That I swear he gets paid like $7,000 for every MF he drops. He has to. Why not see Samuel Jackson play him?
As Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Sam Jackson as Jules Winfield as Deathstroke.
Oh my gosh. No.
Robbie Downey Jr.
Even
played
better.
an Australian guy playing
Cancel the whole thing. You cancel the whole movie. Make it a Tarantino film.
Oh my god, a Tarantino Justice League movie would be amazing.
Quentin Tarantino Justice League is officially a sequel to Pulp
Fiction.
Only if you have Jerry curls.
Everyone has Jerry curls.
And in every scene, I want to see people have wet shoulders from the curls.
Yeah, there's a warning about those. Those are fake.
It looks like it's fucking fake.
Well,
What,
that
the
was
curls?
interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, what's going on? Wait, what's going on here?
Yeah. Someone's getting beat up.
Someone has a hard home life.
All right.
So my
Deathstroke.
final word would be Bryan Cranston. I know
All right,
that
so
sounds
you
crazy,
Bryan
but that's
Cranston.
my pick.
All right, so we got Stephen Lang, Bryan Cranston,
Carl Urban.
Edward Norton.
No, forget Norton. Forget Norton. It was a terrible idea.
All right, Nick. Any ideas? Who do you think?
I don't know, because like I don't, because Deathstroke's been so limited. Like I only know like what I've seen in movies, played in games, and I haven't read a lot of comics, so like I don't have a lot of basis for knowledge. But as someone that like I said, I really don't have enough basis for it. But like, if you want to go off the wall for it, get someone like Mark Wahlberg, who's kind of getting up there in age, still in kind of shape.
Actually, no. I kind of like that idea. I mean, Mark Wahlberg. I mean, you don't have to show his face at all.
Yeah, which his nose bothers me, but so I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. All he has to do is
Batman
say
will come
like,
out and
a
go,
control
"You're trying
thing.
to kill me in my sleep." What? No, I'm just Deathstroke. No, it's fine.
Well, see, Deathstroke is very, I guess, cruel. And what I try to think about with Deathstroke is like, who could I believe would? I know this sounds a little extreme, but what I try to think about, like I did like an hour ago, I was trying to think of an actor that could go on screen and like shoot a 7-year-old in the face and not care.
Nicolas Cage.
Well, I would say Liam Neeson. The problem is I think he's been the Ra's al Ghul thing is too much. It's still too recent.
It is, and you're right. It's too soon for that. But that's real. I try to think of the cruelest actor, because he is. I mean, he's more grounded. He's on Batman's level, a human being that happens to be incredibly strong, which Ben Affleck's Batman is at the pinnacle of human shape. I was watching a video that they were like measuring his hits, which ranged or clocked in at 12,000 newtons, which is enough to decapitate somebody. So that's what I try to think, like who could be cruel, who could be on his level.
Who do you got? Who do we got?
Okay. So somebody of the right age who could actually do all of the stunts himself. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Ooh.
That's not bad.
Because he'll do it.
How old is
He will hit a dude. Like, straight up. Like,
Could he
on
play-
set.
Do you think he could, like, I'm not saying this in a sarcastic way, I mean it in, like, in terms for conversation here, but, like, do you think he could play the cruel aspect,
Have you seen The Expendables 2?
No, I have not.
Then you live in a better world than I do, because I have seen it. But he's the villain in that, and he's pretty good. And there's stories because he doesn't like pull punches when he does stunts. He kicked Liam Hemsworth in the chest, which I have loads of respect for him for that because I've wanted to do that for years.
I'm looking at a picture here of him right now, a 2016 pic. He could pull it off. Like I could see it. Like he's definitely old enough. He hasn't done anything recent of note. Like
I think that would be amazing.
That'd be a solid pick. Him and Stephen Lang are right about the right age for it, and they're in good physical condition to do so. At least to pull it off. Maybe they don't even have to do the stunts really, but they just have to look like they could.
Man,
Van Damme will do him.
I actually wish that this film was happening a little later because I really liked the idea of Liam Neeson doing it.
Yeah,
but he's tall though.
Liam Neeson though, I think if they wait any longer, he'd be too old to do it.
Yeah, but he's also too tall. He's like isn't he like 6'3"? And
he's pretty tall.
Slender. He's tall.
No, well, I mean, here's the problem with Hollywood. A lot of the Hollywood actors are short. And a lot of the characters are supposed to be a lot taller than they are.
Liam Neeson, when he was fighting Christian Bale in Batman Begins, you couldn't tell because of the camera work that they did. They didn't use special effects or anything. They had him crouch for the entirety of the fight scene. He was crouching, but you couldn't tell. I mean, the guy's tall.
That's like kind of like when they did the roll call for stunt guys for the villains in like Mission Impossible movies. They had to find guys that were like 5'11". 6 foot because they couldn't have anyone over 6 foot because then Tom Cruise looked like a dwarf.
Yep,
that's true. Tom Cruise is short.
But
that's the problem with Mark Wahlberg doing it because he's Tom Cruse's height. He's very short. I met Mark Wahlberg in real life and he's pretty short.
He has to be Ben Affleck height.
Yeah, and how tall is Ben? Like 6 foot?
He'll be about 6 foot. Must be.
Hold on, let me check real quick.
Yeah, Ben Affleck's pretty big. He's big, and he looks proportionate. 6'4". Wow.
He and Jason Momoa are the same height.
Oh wow, that's a lot bigger. What about The Rock?
No, I want to get into that. I want to get into that. That's another overly cast thing. But there's only one movie where this is why it ties back into Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder dying was not only just like a personal loss, but it was also ruining my fan casting for the Captain Marvel movie. And it's funny because like my fan casting for the movie was we already confirmed that it was going to be Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Black Adam. We already had a villain cast. We don't have a hero yet to play Captain Marvel. But I wanted Gene Wilder to play the Wizard Shazam really bad. Because I thought he could pull off that level of seriousness, but also like almost like a father figure to Billy Batson. And I thought it would be dope. And he was part of my fan casting lineup. But I was thinking about today about someone who could play Captain Marvel. This took a long time to come up with, but I came up with one. John Cena.
That would really go if he not that he doesn't take roles seriously, but I mean if he took this role more serious than any role he's ever had, put more work than he's ever had, this will go over well on screen and with the public. He has a very favorable view, and he has the build, the stamina, the mental capability. I think he could do it. It's not about.
Thing, though. You don't have to take it seriously. He's playing a 10-year-old kid in an adult male body. That's the genius of Captain Marvel. He's not playing an adult. He doesn't have to be this super serious, super dark character. Captain Marvel is not a dark character. If you make him a dark character, you failed.
No, it's not like that. I mean, like, because I mean it along the lines, like you and I were talking about how like fans have such a. It's hard to please the fans because you're like, no, he has to stay true to this, or this is missing, or this wasn't done right. I think he would have to take it seriously along the lines of really trying to like please the fans and hit that note, that he's known for. Not Cena. I mean Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but obviously Captain Marvel doesn't have to be this super serious character, and I think that's why I think John Cena could do it, because all you have to stand up for truth and innocence. And that's it. That's all you got to do. You don't have to be a dick, like the current one.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds could have done it if they didn't have him do Deadpool.
You can still have him do it. Have Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool as Deathstroke.
Well,
pick up the mask as Deadpool.
Deadpool's name is like, isn't it Wade Wilson, and then Deathstroke is what Wilson? Slade Wilson.
Yeah,
and they both
100% a Deathstroke ripoff.
They're both like these assassin mercenary things that regenerate health. They both use like swords and stuff, and they're essentially the same character, except Deathstroke is dark and Deadpool is all about.
That's the thing though. Deadpool is a parody of Deathstroke.
Yeah.
And it's a intentional deal. Like, think about it. His name is Wade Wilson, Slade Wilson. Like, it's not just a coincidence. They did this on purpose. They took the character on purpose to make fun of it and be a parody of Deathstroke.
I think if it'd be really funny, it'll never happen because Marvel and DC, but just have Deadpool play Deathstroke, and at the end of the movie, he pulls the mask off, and it's actually Deadpool.
That would be the best thing in the world. I want that more than anything.
I don't know. I think when I think about Deadpool, for some reason, Ace Ventura always comes to my mind. I don't know why.
Nobody does.
Nobody. Not even
That's
me.
Really weird.
It is. I think it's because, they're both.
Van Wilder maybe, but
I think it's because they're both very limber. Like they move like Jello.
What?
They both move like Jello.
It's 1:46 here. I have an excuse to say these kind of things. What's your excuse?
My excuse is because I could either use my free time to do homework or come up with this nonsense.
Oh man, do you remember when this was a film podcast? Because I don't.
Anyway, this is a really good show, guys. I hate to cut it short. I got stuff to do, unfortunately. But I want to thank you guys for showing up for the podcast today. It's been really great. Just kind of shooting the breeze, having a good time, just talking about movies and comics and things of this nature. It's been a kind of a tumultuous day. So,
Can I just before we cut off, I'm just on Van Damme's Wikipedia page, and granted it's Wikipedia, and I understand what I just said, but apparently, Mortal Kombat was originally going to be a Van Damme fighting game.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was true.
Originally, yes.
That's crazy.
And it was going to be called Van Damme It.
I'm surprised no one's used that yet. That's the bigger thing.
Van Damme you to hell.
That's
Why hasn't Van Damme you to hell been a movie title?
Van Damme you to hell is the subtitle to a Castlevania game.
This is actually on levels of like Shaq Fu, to be honest. That's how bad this is.
I would play that, and I'm not even trying to be funny. I love Castlevania, but if I could play Van Damme taking out Dracula, I'd play it. I swear to you, I'd play it.
You know, I'm with you on that.
Oh, Dracula thinks he's so tough. Hook kick to the head.
Well, every button you press is a kick to the head.
No. Everyone except one, which is a split.
All right, guys. Thanks for showing up today. We're going to do some outros real quick. I want to thank my co-host who showed up a little bit late, Nick.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's great to be back on the podcast on Monday. Sorry I was running a little bit late. Lost the track of time with Overwatch, so that's my fault.
We will talk about that later. I want to thank our guest for this evening, Chris.
I want to thank you for having me on here. I know the Multiverse has been around for a while, and I always wanted to be on it. I'm not trying to say that in the corny way. I always have. I do tune in every now and then just to disagree with whatever it is that you're saying. I want to thank everybody for having me and listening and putting up with my shenanigans. My name is Chris, as he's mentioned. My Twitter handle is @TooMuchFood with zeros, all one word. I'm also known as Too Much Food. So thanks again. I appreciate it, and I'm sorry what we reduced your show to tonight.
That's fine. And also thank our returning guest, James.
Yes, thank you for listening to TICGN's premiere Jean-Claude Van Damme Appreciation podcast.
Please tune in next Friday to Van Damme it.
And if you want to talk to me about Radiohead or anything else, come at me on Twitter at James_Swilson.
All right. Anyway, guys, thanks for showing up today. This has been Anchorman, and this has been episode 24 of the Multiverse podcast. And for those of you watching on Podbean or whatever site on Xbox or PC or your mobile device, thanks for tuning in, and be in touch next week for the Multiverse podcast, the greatest podcast on Mondays. See you guys later.